Hi everyone and welcome back to Age of Empires 4 for our next Tech Tree Rundown. Today we're looking at the Mongols. Now this is going to be a longer video because they are complex. We're going to talk about the tech tree first and then we're going to have to go in-game to see all of the additional upgrade options they get because they're not in the tech tree. So they're quite different to all of the other civilizations. Their entire base can be moved. They can't mine stone. And as a result, they also don't get access to stone walls, towers, gates, or indeed the keep. They also don't get access to palisade walls or gates. They only get access to the outpost and no upgrades for that outpost. So they're very limited in terms of defense. However, they are very aggressive. They are nomadic and they have high mobility. There is actually possibly a bit of an exploit / bug with their mobility in terms of their base at the moment. Expect that to get nerfed in an upcoming patch. They are masters of mobility and mounted warfare. The Mongols can easily relocate their camps. They gain economic benefits from setting up near stone outcroppings and from raiding enemy buildings. Enemies must deal with cavalry attacks from the opening moments of play. Forgo the need to build houses beginning with maximum population, and traders provide bonus resources when produced in large numbers. This is a good time to mention stone because we're going on to the Ovoos anyway. Extract valuable stone using the Ovoo. Villagers cannot gather stone, nor can it be gained through the market or tribute. The Ovoo provides improved unit production and research to buildings within its influence. So you can't mine stone, you can't trade for it, and you can't get it as a tribute. The only way to gather stone is by building an Ovoo on a stone outcropping, and that Ovoo will give bonuses to the buildings around it. Or you have to build 9 or more traders. If you build 9 or more traders, they will give you stone as well as gold. But you have to have 9 or more, so you're going to be doing a lot of trading. And there is a trading landmark which will help with that. Stone, while it might not seem important for these guys because they don't get stone walls or indeed keeps, they use stone for these additional bonus upgrades. So don't underestimate the value of stone to the Mongols. It's still important. In fact, possibly more important than some of the other civilizations. You can field a singular mighty Khan to provide powerful bonuses to all nearby military units, with signal arrows. Early cavalry are excellent raiders, and units all gain bonus resources by igniting enemy buildings. That's not destroying enemy buildings, you just have to set them on fire, and there are upgrades to help with that. The civilization bonuses list: plunder 50 food and gold by igniting enemy buildings, and there is additional resources available from upgrades. All buildings can be packed up and redeployed to a new location. Start with maximum population limit and no need for houses. Early horsemen in Dark Age and early lancers in the Feudal Age. Double produce units or research advanced version of technologies using stone. This is what I was referring to when I'm talking about building in the influence of the Ovoo and using stone for these upgrades. Gain plus 10% food, wood, gold and stone from trade routes with more traders. Transport ships have plus 50 health and move 15% faster. Influence. Buildings constructed within the influence of an Ovoo are able to double produce units or research improved versions of tech. Unique units: the Khan, who fires powerful signal arrows that enhance nearby troops, and the Mangudai, mounted archers able to fire while moving. Very, very useful unit, because even when you're chasing them down, they're still firing at you. Straight to the Dark Age and the town centre. You get access to the villager, scout and textiles as usual. No big changes here. What I will note is that you can build scouts, however your town centre will automatically produce a Khan if your Khan dies. You get access to the Gur, which replaces the mill, the lumber camp and the mining camp. It has all the usual upgrades: forestry, survival techniques and wheelbarrow, professional scouts, as well as all the usual 15% increases to gather speed per age. You get access to the Ovoo, which is your stone mining building effectively, and it mines automatically. Some of the research upgrades available there include superior mobility, packed buildings move and unpack 50% faster. This is the thing which I suspect is going to get nerfed, as currently you can move some of your buildings around once you research this like a rocket ship. And at the moment it just seems a little bit too powerful. You can do Whistling Arrows upgrade, increase the Khan's signal arrow duration by 5 seconds and range by 2 tiles. Raid Bounty, increase the raid income for igniting a building to 100 food and gold, so double it basically. Additional torches, increase the torch damage of all infantry and cavalry by +3. And Stone Bounty, add 75 stone to raid income for igniting a building. And there are additional bonuses to certain upgrades when built within range of the Ovoo, including upgrades like this at the Ovoo itself. But again, we're going to have to look in game for that, because it changes percentage and numbers for every single one. So I can't just say a flat everything gets 5%, that doesn't work. So we will have to look at it separately. Let's move on to the barracks. So pretty standard setup here. You get your spearmen in the Dark Age and the Feudal Age. You then get access to the man-at-arms in the Castle Age. Now we move on to our stable, which is where we get our scout and early horsemen in the Dark Age. Then we get access to the lancer in the Castle Age. Nothing else special there. Docks wise, we get access to our fishing boat and transport ship as normal, trade ship and light junk in the Feudal Age, war junk and explosive junk in the Castle Age, and then our Bao Chun, which is our armed broadside cannon ship. We get access to the usual fishing upgrades. Specifically for the Mongols, they get access to piracy, where they gain 50 wood and 50 gold when sinking enemy ships. You get your navigator lookout, additional cells, extra ballista, chaser cannons and explosives, so nothing too different there. Outpost, this is where things are a little bit different. The first thing is you get arrow slits, the springald emplacement or the cannon emplacement as usual. However, here you do not get a stone tower upgrade. You cannot fortify these outposts. You also get access to the YAM network technology. YAM speed aura applies to all units instead of just traders and cavalry units. We're going to go straight to the pasture and skip over the landmarks because it produces herdable sheep. It is a replacement for the farm in essence. It supposedly produces sheep every 90 seconds. Apparently it's actually every 2 minutes, so it's not quite correct, the information there. It will eventually stop producing if too many sheep are produced and not gathered, something to bear in mind depending on how many people you've got running these. You cannot return food to them, they do not act like a mill. You will still need to build one of the gers next to it or build them near a town centre or similar. Now moving back to the landmarks. The first are the deer stones. When set up, deer stones provide the YAM speed aura. Upon completion, they instantly grant the YAM network technology, which means you do not need to research it separately. The other option is the silver tree. It acts as a market, can build traders plus 50% faster and at 50% reduced cost. So that means that you're getting them considerably cheaper than the other civilizations. You also get an upgrade there in the Imperial Age called Stone Commerce, where having 9 or more traders causes them to supply stone as well as gold. Moving straight on to the Feudal Age, you get access to the town centre, nothing special there, just as usual. You get access to the market where you can build the trader and also do the Stone Commerce upgrade, and if you haven't chosen the Silver Tree, then you'll certainly want to be popping one of these down. You get access to the Blacksmith, which is where you will get most of your technology upgrades, as you do not get access to a university. So the first thing to say is you get your standard melee damage, range damage, melee armor and ranged armor technologies. There are no differences here and there are no upgraded versions. Siege Engineering and Military Academy do get upgraded versions, but we'll talk about those later. You also get here your incendiary arrows, your biology, your chemistry and your elite army tactics, rather than building a university. As before with the other civilizations, you get access to a battering ram and siege tower if you have done the upgrade. And then onto our archery range, where we get the archer and the unique unit, the Mangudai, in the Feudal Age. We get the crossbowman as usual in the Castle Age, and then the hand cannoneer in the Imperial Age. We also get a unique technology here, the sheer bow limbs, increases the range damage of Mangudai and the Khan by +1. Lots and lots of damage upgrades available for all of the units here, well worth getting them. Then on to our Feudal Age landmarks. The first is the Crueltari. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. When the Khan is nearby, the Crueltari heals all nearby units and provides plus 25% damage bonus for 30 seconds. A good building in terms of defense, and realistically, because you can move all your buildings about, you can move this to the front lines as long as you're defending it and unpack it anywhere, and then provide those bonuses in the field. You also get the option of the Steppe Redoubt. This acts as a gur, and gold drop-off at this landmark is increased by 50%. Moving on to the Castle Age, you get access to the Prayer Tent, the Shaman Herbal Medicine upgrade, the Piety upgrade, the Monastic Shrines, which allows improved production in their districts even without an Ovoo, and also the Tithe Barns upgrade. Relics placed in the Prayer Tent provide income of 20 food, wood and stone every minute, probably something that is worth it for the additional stone for the Mongols. Then you get access to the Siege Workshop as usual. The only big difference here and unique unit is the Traction Trebuchet, slightly different technology than the Counterweight Trebuchet. It has bonus damage versus buildings, high mobility, but as always it must be set up to fire and is inaccurate against units. You get the Bombard Cannon, the Mangonel and the Springold, usual upgrades of greased axles, roller shutter triggers, adjustable crossbars and siege works, nothing special there. Then you get access to your Castle Age landmarks. The first is the White Stupa, which acts as an Ovoo and produces 240 stone per minute without the stone outcropping. It also has the influence area of the Ovoo with all those bonuses. Then you get access to the Cagnate Palace. This is a unique building which spawns a cavalry army of horsemen, Mangudai or lancers every 90 seconds. You don't actually get a choice of what it builds, it is random. So I don't know why they actually have these units listed here, because you don't actually get to choose and you can't actually build them. I think it's just demonstrating that you can get these upgrades elsewhere. Then in the Imperial Age, all you get access to is the Monument of the Great Khan, the unique Mongols wonder. And that costs 4,000 food, 4,000 wood and 4,000 gold, so the pricing is different because of their lack of being able to mine for stone. It is harder for them to get a large amount, especially when they're needing to spend massive amounts on their special upgrades. Well, that's the tech tree. It's a wee bit confusing because it is quite different to the other civilizations. Let's now go in the game and have a look at these upgrades separately. Right everyone, welcome to the in-game portion of the Mongols Tech Tree video. First we're going to click on the Ovoo here because that's the most important thing to click on in my opinion. The Ovoo has this area of influence around it. It's 2 tiles wide and all of these buildings are sat within it. A building must be at least 1 tile within it to be part of that influence area. Anything within the influence area gets access to whatever is in this second little window. For example, production buildings have the ability to build 2 of the unit that they produce in one go, and for the same cost with an additional stone cost. In the case of villages, it is an expensive stone cost because it would give you too much of an advantage early game if it only cost 50 stone and 50 food. However, you can see that, for example, the scouts are 60 food and 60 stone. The same applies to the other production buildings, where you can build 2 spearmen, 2 men-at-arms, 2 early horsemen, 2 lancers or 2 scouts, and so on and so forth. The other thing that you get in these little windows is improved versions of technologies. For example, that the Ovoo we've already looked at, the fact that you get whistling arrows, raid bounty, additional torches and stone bounty. What we get over here is an improved version of those technologies, and this applies to quite a few of the technologies in game. So for example, Instead of getting 5-second bonus and 2 tile bonus for whistling arrows, you get an increase in the Khan signal arrow duration by 7 seconds and 3 tiles with the improved version. Please note that if you do the other version, or the original version first, you only get the additional 2 seconds duration and plus 1 tile range, and that applies to all of these improved in brackets technologies. So the same with the raid bounty, you double it to 100 food and gold there. If you go here, you increase it to 125 food and gold, but if you do this research first, and then the improved version, you only get plus 25 of each. Same for additional torches, plus 3 here, plus 5 here, and stone bounty, add 75 stone to the raid income for igniting a building, and over here you add 125 or plus 50 if you've already done the research. You also get the superior mobility technology here. There's no upgraded or improved version of that, however that's the one I suspect is going to get nerfed soon. Then you have the Gur, which is your economy building, your resource drop-off building. Rather than having all the separate ones, you just get that. And in much the same way, it gets improved version of all the technologies. There is a mistake in this tooltip here. The increasing villagers gather rate of food by 15% should actually be 20%, as the base one is 15, and this adds an additional 5%. The same for double broadaxe, and the same for specialized pick, and this applies to all of the technologies through the ages. You can spend the extra stone to get the improved versions and additional resource gather rate. You also get an upgrade to forestry, which doubles the rate at which villagers chop down trees, or here, villagers fell trees in a single chop. Increase the carry capacity of villagers by 5 and movement speed by 15. Increase the carry capacity by 7 and movement speed by 15 remains the same. Then you get survival techniques, which increases a villager's hunted meat carry capacity by 15 and gather rate by 10. And here you get increases the carry, but it does increase their carry capacity by 15. And then you get your professional scouts, which gives scouts the ability to carry animal carcasses and do 200% damage. And the upgraded version is 300% damage. I will note that the other thing you get at the archery range, because although you get your usual double production of units, you also get access to an improved sheer bow limbs, which increases the range damage of Mangudai and the Khan by +2 instead of +1. Again, an upgrade that is well worth doing. Then of course we can look at the Blacksmith, which has your very standard damage and armor upgrades. You also get the siege engineering, but here you get an improved siege engineering, which allows the units to also build mangonels, springles and trebuchets. You also get an improved military academy, which increases the production rate by 35% rather than just 25%. You also get access to your biology for cavalry, which is increased to 30% for the improved version. The elite army tactics, which increases the health of all melee infantry by 10 and damage by 10%, is improved to 15 and 15%. You get the standard chemistry and you get the standard incendiary arrows with no additional improved technologies. Over at the Silver Tree, which is basically a market, and this would apply to the market as well, you get the standard stone commerce upgrade. Having 9 or more active traders causes them to supply stone as well as gold. Or the stone commerce improved, having 9 or more active traders causes them to supply an increased amount of stone as well as gold. It doesn't specify the amount here or percentage increase, however. So let's have a look at the final couple of buildings. So the first is the prayer tent, where we can obviously build 2 shamans in this case. We also get improved herbal medicine, which is 150% increase in healing rate. We get increased shaman's health of +60 with improved piety rather than just +40, and we get improved Tilibans. However, frustratingly, it doesn't actually specify what the improvement is. You'll note here that the tooltips are identical, and it seems that they have mistakenly not updated that. There are still a few little bugs in these tooltips here and there. Then we can move on to the siege workshop, which again you can have the build 2 of any production unit, but you also get improved versions of roller shutter triggers, which increases the weapon range of springolds by +3 tiles and reduces their reload time by 35%. compared to +2 and 25%. You get reduce the reload time of mangonels by 35% compared to 25%. And you get increase the movement speed of all siege engines by 30% compared to 20%. And finally, improved siege works gives you increased health of siege engines by 30 and ranged armor by +4 compared to 20 and +3. So significant upgrades at a significant cost of stone. You are going to need other stone income sources, such as traders and their upgrades, having over 9 and doing the upgrades to get stone with them, or indeed building the White Stepper so that you get 240 stone per minute. Stone is important for the Mongols, do not neglect it. This is a difficult civilization to play. They're very complex, there is a lot to them, there is a lot that isn't in the tech tree as you've just seen, but that's where I'm going to leave the video there, or it's going to get exceptionally long and go into far too much detail. There are obviously a few bugs that need working out, namely with the technology that increases the speed of packed buildings and their pack and unpack time, because at the moment it's a little bit too fast. So expect to see a patch incoming. Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I know that this is quite a complex site to play, but they are very strong and they are a lot of fun if you can stomach that. So I'll leave it there. Thanks again for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon for our next video.